we have with Mr. Lamon Rutten, MD and Chief Executive Officer of India Gold Metaverse. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
We welcome you to India Gold Conference. Happy to see you after a long time. We saw you, met you in your previous avatar as from MCX. So, can you brief about your latest profile and what you do at India Metaverse and what is the company and what is its activities about in the gold ecosystem?
Yeah, IGM is a completely new company, and we basically believe we can re-engineer the logic of the gold ecosystem. Right now, it works in a very fragmented way. It's basically pillars, vertical pillars. You've got a bullion pillar, a jewelry pillar, a gold loan pillar, a digital gold pillar. There's some connections between them, but there's still pillars that are connected.
It's working in silos, individual silos.
Exactly, and we believe we can bring all of that together into one genuine ecosystem. And very importantly, this can be an ecosystem that will be inclusive. We talk about modernization of the gold industry. Now, if you actually look at what is happening, you can see that the modernization is so far not touching the majority of the gold sector.
Okay.
The part of the jewelry sector that is growing is the modern part. 20-30% of the market. The remaining 70% is unable to enter into the fast stream of modern jewelry. They're basically stagnating. If you look at gold loans, it's a really small market. There's more than 20,000 tons of gold lying in India.
30,000.
Yeah. Only 800 tons of that is used as collateral in the formal gold market, 1,800 at very high interest rates in the informal one. So there's 10%. Only 10%.
So India is,
and that means that people are now borrowing money at very high rates because they're unable to use their gold. Everyone in India has gold, but you can't use it.
Yes.
Digital gold is nowhere yet. Modernization is only right now touching a small part of this whole gold and bullion sector. We believe that with our ecosystem approach and the technology that we can bring in, we've shown the karatometer earlier at this meeting, that we can actually ensure that this growth becomes inclusive and touches the whole sector and therefore the whole Indian economy.
Okay, sir. How was the experience working with exchanges earlier? How is helping you in this digital transformation? How it helps you? What knowledge you bring from them?
That's a very nice question. In a typical Western exchange model, the exchange sits in the big city and waits for people to go there. The model that we had here in MCX was different. We went out throughout the country. Personally, I've visited many small towns. I was in many mandis. And that's an amazing experience because you can see how dynamic they are.
Exactly.
But you can also see how well able they are to use technology. You give them the tool, they will use it. And it's an amazing experience to go to a small market.
Mandi.
And see these piles of commodities on the ground. And then you go to the back and you have there a terminal. And that terminal connects that small trader to the world. And it impacts what he does. I mean, you talk to him and you ask him, okay, how does this change your life? And he will be able to tell you that before he had to stop trading after a certain moment or the risk was too high, so he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Just that link with the modern economy empowers him, allows him to do much more. And this is true not just in the big cities. So having that experience, that technology empowers, and technology mostly empowers people who are left behind, that I'm carrying now into IGM.
In future, going ahead, how you see IGM transforming the Indian bullion industry? Because if we take from 2020 to 2025, technology has revamped everything. Because you see a lot of digital gold coming up, different forms of bullion tradings has come up. So, in which way IGM wants to place themselves on it? What is the unique proposition does IGM bring? And how it intends to revolutionize the gold industry?
Yeah, well, basically, the one thing that has happened over the past decades are these things.
Mobile.
Everyone has them now. And that is a fantastic carrier to bring a modern gold metaverse basically to the doorsteps of all households in India. So we are really looking at making gold a technology product, which basically can sit on your phone.
So you wanted to transform yourself as a technology only company or a gold only company?
No. We are a technology platform empowering the gold sector, the gold and jewelry sector. We're not going to produce our own jewelry. We are providing this platform to our partners, but we're also providing them all the tools they need to actually use that platform. The caratometer, I don't know whether you've discussed that elsewhere. The caratometer that we have developed is at a fraction of the cost of modern keratometers. Now, that's not just a cost saving. What that means is that people, smaller jewelers, who until now simply couldn't, it made no sense for them to have a keratometer like that. And because they couldn't have a keratometer, they couldn't do gold loans.
Yes.
They could not efficiently buy back jewelry. There are many things they couldn't do. Now with our machines, suddenly, even these small jewelers become agents for the bigger financial sector, for example.
Just like everyone had a pulsometer in COVID time, so every jeweler have your keratometer in the future.
Because it's affordable. And it's not just the machine. The machine is part of our bigger technology.
How
Metaverse.
do you integrate this with your technology?
That particular info feeds into, it's like
Data.
a block. It's a database. We can put it on the blockchain. It doesn't really matter that much. It's a database. So you have a physical asset, and data are associated with that asset. So you have a ring, and that ring has certain information associated with it. Now that ring, if it is now collateral, we know what the value is.
And the purity is also guaranteed.
We know the purity, we know the weight. So we have perfect control over the economic aspects. Of that asset. Now, what does it mean? It means that asset becomes liquid. If you know what it is, if you know what it is worth every second of the day, the asset itself becomes tradable, the collateral becomes more valuable. So the keratometer in itself, nice thing to have, but we really make it useful by connecting this to our bigger ecosystem so that whatever you measure is converted then into, let's call it a token, and that token then becomes perfect collateral for financiers. It becomes the basis for honest negotiations between the owner of their jewelry and the prospective
So you
buyer.
wanted to make these tokens as a fungible tokens.
There you are touching on regulatory issues. So the underlying logic is that of a token. To what extent we can turn them into blockchain token, fungible or not non-fungible, that will depend on regulatory development.
Or just a security like things being transferred across.
Well, that's the minimum we can do. That is already permitted. But what you mentioned, making them fungible, you could do much more. But that is still a gray zone in India. I'm sure we'll get there because it makes a lot of economic sense. But we're not there yet.
What is the potential you see in India, sir? Because given the size of gold and collateralized gold itself around 3,000 tons.
The potential countrywide is massive. At the basis, it's very simple. You already have people owning, if you just look at one, you basically have opportunities throughout these different verticals. But let's just take one vertical, the gold loan market.
Yeah.
There is already there are people owning 1,800 tons of jewelry and gold while using it to get loans.
Today estimate is around 3,350 tons of gold being collateralized for lending.
Yeah, formal and informal.
Both formal and informal.
Yeah. The informal ones is about 2/3 of that. Those people who are getting informal loans are now willing to pay
higher interest,
24%, even more than 24-30%, 24 let's say. Why?
Because they're not getting access to formal lending.
Exactly. And with our logic, which is partly technology, partly this network that we're building, linking these different silos, those people are already in the market. They already are looking for money. They already have the collateral. So they are natural clients.
So you look at a business because at given At current rates, the gold lending market is estimated around 20 lakh crores to 25 lakh crores, around $220 billion.
That is at 24% interest rate. So you can imagine the impact it will have on the size of the market if suddenly this becomes competitive. So it's really, as far as I'm concerned, it's a no-brainer. Now, okay, a no-brainer still means you need to work hard for it. You need to build that whole underlying infrastructure. But the markets, the potential is a no-brainer. And the impact in a country the size of India will be utterly huge.
Thank you, sir. So we'll look forward to how IGM is going to disrupt the industry. Best wishes and best luck for your
Thank you very
endeavors.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.